This is Karen Ranzi, and I'm here with Dr. Will Tuttle, who spoke with my New Jersey Raw Food Support Network yesterday evening about the World Peace Diet and about the importance of plant-based diets and veganism. Will, it was so wonderful to have you here, and I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit about the World Peace Diet, and if you could kind of give us a summary of your talk yesterday evening.
Okay, right, the 5-minute summary.
Yes.
Thanks, Karen, and yeah, thank everyone for listening here to Karen's YouTube channel. I think this is the most important thing we can focus our attention on today is the ramifications of our food choices for our, not only for our physical health, but for our spiritual, psychological, cultural, and environmental health, and to be really a force for transforming not only our own lives in a positive way, but the life of our culture, because we're really living in critical times today. We have a technology where we're able to hyper-confine and mutilate and kill millions of animals, cut down rainforests, destroy oceans. And that's what we're doing with our food system. It's devastating the planet, it's devastating our health, it's making, in many ways, making us not only sick physically and physiologically, but it's shutting down our spiritual and intellectual and emotional clarity and health. So I really support Karen's work, and I really think the most important thing anyone can do is to make an effort to understand what's going on behind the curtain of our culture's food system. And that's what I talk about actually in the World Peace Diet. It's really the idea that the greatest adventure we can take of self-discovery and self-empowerment is to understand our culture's food system and how the routine violence towards animals for food and other products, but it's mainly food is how we're killing literally billions of animals. How that not only is devastating to our oceans, our rainforests, to the species diversity on this planet. We're causing a massive extinction of species because we're destroying habitat, the pollution, the global climate devastation. All of this is coming primarily from animal agriculture. The wars, the world hunger that's going on because we're feeding most of the grain to animals while people are going hungry. This is a recipe for violence and unrest and conflict and war. And so that on the outer level, the toxins that concentrate in animal foods, the heavy metals, PCBs, dioxins, and other hydrocarbons, nuclear radiation, all these things concentrate in fishes, and these animals are fed to each other. Their feces are fed to each other. We're eating dairy products and eggs and the flesh of animals that really concentrate toxins enormously, and these foods are very carcinogenic and cause physical disease for us. Also because we're not really designed to eat dairy products for sure. We don't have renin, which is the main digestive enzyme that calves have to break down casein. So dairy is really devastating to our health, but even meat in general is hard for us to digest. So we can thrive. This is really the important thing to understand, I think, on a way of eating, on a diet that doesn't require any animal to suffer. And when we do that, when we begin to understand that we can thrive on a plant-based diet of organic and whole foods is really the way to go, then not only does our health blossom physically, but we take a huge load off of the earth, off of the ecosystems, off of wildlife, off of hungry people who are starving. They can be fed, the oceans can come back, the rivers can come back, the forests can come back, and we can begin to live on a healthy planet in more harmony with each other. We don't have to pay people to do jobs that bring out the worst in them, where they're stabbing animals and electroshocking animals and raping animals on rape racks. And that's the worst work anyone can do, and these people have terrible lives, and we are responsible for that. If I'm taking out my wallet and paying for meat, dairy products, and eggs, I'm causing that. And so on the outer level, but also on the inner level, when we eat these animal foods, essentially we're eating foods that we would rather not know where they're coming from, right? So we learn at a very deep level to disconnect from our capacity to make connections, which is our intelligence as a society. And so I was just reading this morning actually an article about how we're causing the devastation to the oceans. We're killing off so many species And the underlying reason is stupidity. I mean, we're just not making the connection. We're just attacking ecosystems, the lungs of the earth, the diversity here. It's going to cause us, if we don't stop, to go extinct, for sure. So it's about reconnecting with the ancient spiritual teachings that recommend and encourage and inspire us from all religions to look at others with eyes of kindness and compassion and caring, especially those who are vulnerable in our hands. And when we do that and move to a plant-based diet for ethical reasons, we're doing the most powerful thing anyone can do to create a positive future for ourselves and for our children and for all living beings. Because the basic teaching of veganism is the interconnectedness of all life. That we're all interconnected on this beautiful planet, this beautiful abundant planet. We can easily feed everyone if we just wake up from this cultural hypnotic trance. See, we're all injected with this program that hypnotizes us really at a very deep level. We're programmed to think that we need to eat animal foods to get protein or to get calcium or whatever ridiculous thing, B12, whatever. We can thrive. I've been a vegan for 34 years. I haven't been to a doctor in 34 years. I'm just totally healthy, and I'm not unique, and this is the way it is. If you move to a plant-based diet, not only will your own physical health thrive, but the beauty of it is that the inner peace, the sense of being part of a benevolent universe begins to grow and flower in us, and our self-confidence comes back, our self-esteem comes back, our self-respect comes back, because we are respecting other beings as sacred. And I think we all know in our bones that all life is sacred. But when we treat animals and hungry people and future generations and ecosystems as mere commodities to be used and dominated and exploited, and we don't care about them, and we shut down this capacity to care, then we're shutting down what I refer to in the World Peace Diet as Sophia, the sacred feminine, which is the most powerful sacred force to bless the world, to care for communities and neighborhoods and for ourselves and our loved ones. And animal agriculture devastates all of that. The outer landscape of our world that we share together, and the inner landscape of our own feelings, and wisdom and awareness and compassion and sense of justice. So going vegan is by far the greatest gift we can give, not only to ourselves, but to the world. And I just really want to thank you for listening this far and for making an effort to move into this understanding, to question the official stories of our society that enrich a wealthy elite that gets wealthy in war and disease and environmental devastation, and think of those of whom we cause such suffering. And I think when we do that, we begin to feel a sense of love and caring and radical inclusion and caring, and that's the foundation for a world of sanity. So much love to Karen and to all of you for bringing this message forward and living it in our world today. It's the most important thing we can do.